Baltimore Tonight, where we bring you international news in the Baltimore context. My name is Clare Lochary.
I'm Claire's brother Earl, who's only here because Mom made me.
That's right. Earl has nothing better to do. In breaking news, we're going straight to where this story is happening. And Ted Haggard, also that evangelical preacher who was caught being meth-fueled sex with a gay prostitute, he is in the news because he is trying out for the Baltimore Orioles. And we have our man on the scene, Miles Nieder. You have the exclusive with Orioles rookie Ted Haggard.
I sure do, Claire, and I gotta tell you, the Orioles have really struggled to cultivate their own internal talent in the last several years, but Buck Showalter thinks he has something really special with this meth'd-up gay sex freak. I'm here with Ted. Ted, what do you think you're gonna do tonight in your first game against Tampa Bay? Probably meth. Would you say you're gonna do that? I'm sorry, Ted, I wasn't expecting you to be so forthright. Camera's over here, Ted.
Ted, we have a question for him from the studio. Miles, can you ask Ted, Baltimore's not really a meth as much of a heroin town. Is he going to be able to adapt to a new system?
Ted, this is not really a meth town, it's more of a smack town. What do you say to that?
Well, you know what, I'm just ready to play the game and, get down and dirty with some needle marks and, do whatever it takes.
Sounds like he's ready to adapt, Claire. Tampa Bay's pitching has been known to bring methadone to games against the Baltimore Orioles just to try to keep people from tweaking too terribly much. What will you do if they throw their famed methadone ball?
Well, I will pull down my pants, wave my cock around, and have a good time.
When Albert Bell did that in 1999, he was suspended for 10 games. You got another plan?
If they suspend me, I'm just going to do it again.
Ted, this is Earl here. Hypothetically, if you had an overprotective mother and you wanted to lash out with drugs, where would you find them?
Oh, definitely check her underwear drawer. That's where I found my first meth.
And you're up on TV Hill, if I'm not mistaken, Earl. I would suggest going down to the corner of Poole Street and Jerry Turner Way, where there's a friendly gentleman named Max. He's probably got exactly what you need.
Well, one final question for the methed-out professional athlete. Ted, you spent many years devoting yourself to suppressing the rights of gay people, and now you're living in a state where gay marriage is legal, and it's quite likely that we will have our first gay governor come election in November. What do you feel about that?
You know what? I really need some meth. Please. Just, I will feel whatever it takes. I will feel whatever way you want me to feel. Truly, I'll feel it. Claire, a lot of people are going to be tweaking tonight at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Back to you.
Miles. Thanks so much. Do you want to do this segment? Do you feel like you're ready to do it?
Oh, I have it in my hand. You want to do it?
No, you should.
Mom would probably prefer it if you did it.
I want you to do it, Earl.
We go now live to a press conference. What does God have for brunch? Here now live is God to answer questions about his brunch preferences.
Okay. Yes, you, sir.
Your Holiness, French toast or waffles? Settle the argument that's divided Israel and Palestine for decades.
French waffles. Next.
Do you believe that brunch needs to have equal parts breakfast and lunch to be considered brunch?
I feel that any portion of the meal, being one or the other, or both at the same time, can still be considered brunch. You, sir.
So if my friend Susan orders a full three-course pancake, egg, and hash brown meal, and I just get a coffee, can I punch her in the face if she wants to split the bill evenly?
I've already smoked her. Yes, you, sir.
Why do bad things happen to good people?
You're smoked.
And then the conference just degenerated into Armageddon, is my opinion.
It did. But it was a good one. It was a good one.
Conflagration.
All right.
You all right?
Up next is Earl's sensitive magazine piece on the topic of chamber music and bad rehearsals. And my understanding is the BSO has come under hard times, and they have employed Canadian idiot Justin Bieber as the conductor to try to get some stuff.
That is true.
And you have the story.
I sure do. Professional and Canadian idiot Justin Bieber was commissioned as the director for the BSO. He had experienced chamber music, but only from GarageBand, a program for Apple computers. He didn't know how to talk to people. He didn't know how to look at people. All he knew how to do was be gorgeous and touch his hair a whole lot. So when he gave instructions to these classically trained musicians, they didn't pay him a lot of respect. They said, "Hey, I heard your music, and it's terrible. I've seen you before, and you're a nutcase. I've worked my ass off to be where I am, and what have you done? What have you done with your life? What have you done with yourself, Justin Bieber?" So they beat him. They beat him with their instruments. They took part of the stage apart and they started beating them with wooden planks and the seats and all the things they could find. The entire budget of the BSO was used to just find things to beat Justin Bieber. And because the BSO is a non-profit, that was a lot of tax dollars on the way. But out of the rubble of broken wooden instruments and tattered French horns, Justin Bieber arose. And he realized from his bruises and scarred ego that I may be Canadian, and I may be a gorgeous idiot, but by God, people know who I am. And that means someone, somewhere respects me. So I just need to command that respect to the BSO, and we'll have a great show. So he went back, and they beat him again. They said, "That was a terrible lesson, Justin Bieber. You've been living in a bubble your whole life. When are you going to grow up?" Justin Bieber arose again. Oh, it's not finished. And Justin Bieber realized, I have so much to learn about music and musicians. Maybe music isn't for me anymore. And so from that day forward, Justin Bieber quit music and now drives a bus in Ontario.
That's really nice.
He's not happy there. He's miserable, but, better we don't hear about him anymore.
Agreed. All right. To round out the evening, we have an overly emotional op-ed on the topic of how to grow crops on Antarctica in the life of Hillary Clinton. Here to discuss the life of Hillary Clinton and how to grow crops on Antarctica is former Senator Clinton's 2016 Democratic primary opponent, Governor Martin O'Malley.
Ooh.
Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, what's this about again? Growing crops?
Two things that are very frigid.
Let me tell you about two things that are very frigid. One, voters in Maryland. And two, judges in Maryland. Not that I have any personal experience on the matter, but if you vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and I'm not saying that you should, but if you do, have you ever thought about the ramifications of putting the wife of an ex-president in the White House? Beyond the fact that she already knows her way around the place and already has taken measures for the drapery, and she might also have plans to napalm Alaska. Now, I'm not saying I've seen these plans. I'm not saying that I was part of this planning in the gubernatorial committee as the head of it, as the Democratic president of the gubernatorial committee. I don't know anything about Hillary Clinton napalming plants in Alaska. Just think about it.
And that is Governor Martin O'Malley, trying to sublimate his rage against a better, more qualified candidate.
You did a good job.
Oh, thanks, Earl.
Yeah.
You held up your end of the bargain. Next week on Baltimore Tonight, we'll be exploring several topics, including people who don't scoop their own dog's poop, Earl. Parking in Baltimore, Earl. And online dating, definitely, Earl. So please tune in next charming